And before I start explaining why sarcasm is toxic, there is this famous slide that if you can't tolerate sarcasm, then you are too insecure and too sensitive. That's bullshit. Sarcasm, as we're going to define it, is yet another subtle type of bullying. And if you can say that people who can't tolerate bullying are sensitive, then I will wholeheartedly declare that people who can't tolerate sarcasm are also sensitive wimps. Why? Because in reality, people who can't and won't tolerate bullying are people who have enough self-respect and people who cannot tolerate disrespectful behavior. Sarcasm is scatological humor. There's a difference between sarcasm and good-natured humor. Sarcasm is more about making fun of people. It plays on people's insecurities. It's a way to tear down someone or a group of people for whatever reason indirectly. A sarcastic comment, if you look at it a bit deeper, is nothing but an insult. There is nothing funny about someone calling one of his friends in front of a group of friends creepy nerd, and then adding an insulting joke about nerds while making his friend feel small and insecure. All that while knowing that this friend is socially awkward and is probably insecure about being called a nerd, which is the very reason he did it. And it asserts his insecurities about his social skills and likability. That's bullying. And the so-called nerd is mistaken if he considers this as a normal behavior of his friend, especially if the comment made him upset deep down. And he will be in deep troubles if he doesn't stand up for himself and assert himself and set boundaries. For he will send a message to everyone around him that he is the type of person who can be pushed around and would do nothing but nervously laugh. Let alone that his mind is going to give him a hard time because he didn't stand up for himself. His self-esteem will get a hard hit. So, who are those mean clowns and how to spot them? They are toxic people, as we discussed, who abuse humor and turn it into sarcasm to project their insecurities onto other people. They use humor to bully others, not to make them laugh, to bully them and to project those insecurities. They usually have a good sense of humor. Many of them can effortlessly make people laugh, but they use their abilities in a dark way. They are the ones who make mean comments and make fun of one of the people in the group. And they are usually, but not always, found inside groups. After all, to really damage someone, they need to have people watching. Those comments usually hurt the person who receives them. I was shocked by the number of the threats online about how to handle such people who make a mockery of you in public. Those threats indicate that people are really hurt by them but are unable to express their refusal to this mockery for the fear of either losing their so-called friends or for the fear of being labeled sensitive. That is why I said that this type of humor, which is referred to as sarcasm, is nothing but a form of bullying masqueraded as humor. If it hurts you, it's bullying. It's bullying, especially if you feel after the situation finishes that you should have said or done something. In general, those mean clowns are found in groups. They target a few members in the group and make fun of them and intentionally try to embarrass them. They choose their targets based on many factors, including jealousy, hatred, which is usually motivated by jealousy, how defenseless the person seems, and even merely by how their mean jokes, which reflect their insecurities, apply on you. There is negative energy in their jokes, a negative vibe, as if they are taking revenge of you or purposely want to make you feel bad and get you destroyed. You can sense that. Some sarcasm and teasing between close friends can sometimes be acceptable because it doesn't have this bad vibe or evil tendencies. This is the only case in which sarcasm can be harmless, but not necessarily useful, especially in the long run. There is a desire to hurt you and to put you down, and you can feel it. And they feel better when they succeed at making you feel bad. The negative energy turns into a sense of relief, as if they have accomplished something of importance to them. They can be loud and outgoing, the type that usually makes the entire group laughs all the time. Or they can be the silent type that unexpectedly and explicitly drops a sarcastic comment about you. And last but not least, I just have to say this: narcissists, manipulators, psychopaths, and other types of toxic people can use this as strategy along with their other abilities to hurt you. However, some people specialize in this and don't have other weapons to hurt you other than sarcasm. They are neither narcissists, nor they possess any other type of manipulative or evil tendencies and behaviors. It's just their way to handle their insecurities. But in all cases, it's not fun, and you need to stop considering it fun. And you need to stand up for yourself against it. If only enough people stood up for themselves against sarcasm, we would be better off. There is nothing worse than being bullied by people you might consider as your friends. And there's nothing worse than being called sensitive when you voice out your dissatisfaction with this type of behavior. You have the right to set your own boundaries. I say you have both the right and the obligation to set your own boundaries. Do that and don't settle to these resentment-filled comments. And oh, by the way, this is also a good way to weed out the enemies and haters who are disguised as friends. They will usually use this strategy because it allows them to express their resentment, hatred, and jealousy without exposing themselves in a socially accepted way, which is sarcasm, which is something that we need to rethink and question. So I call this type of toxic people mean clowns. If you want to learn more about other types of toxic people, how to handle them, how to assert yourself, and how to set boundaries, and how to stop anyone from mistreating you, and how to create a social circle in which you are respected and valued, then you can check my book, Becoming Toxic People's Worst Nightmare. I will leave a link to it in the description below. It can be very useful.